Hello, DDP students. This is a tutorial on navigating the interface of Fusion 360 and the 2D sketch tools that you're going to be needing to draw, and especially for our first assignment, Mr. DDP. So the first thing I want to show you, okay, if you're in Fusion 360, it should look something like this. The first thing that I want to show you is the data panel. And the data panel is this group of 9 squares right here. And when we open it up, this is every assignment that I've done and every assignment you will do. It's all the different folders I've created. This is where we're going to be retrieving our work and saving our work, okay? So right here is really important. That's where everything is going to be. And if we want to save our work, okay, we hit the save button here. It's important to save your work right away so you don't lose it, and it could be safe. All right. Now, once we've named it, we want to set a location, and these are all the different folders that I can save it to. You, of course, don't have any folders yet, so you can create a new folder here. It's important to keep things saved and organized and labeled so you can find your work easily. So to close the data panel, I'm going to go here. I've saved what I'm going to do. We don't need anything in the design environment. For browser here, this is everything that has to do with our design, the sketches, any 3D modeling, any components. It's all going to end up right here, but we're not going to be really needing this for the first assignment. This is the navigation bar. We're going to get to that in just a moment, but let's show you how to create a new sketch. All right, so we want to be in the sketch environment, and that's where we're going to be doing our work. So under the create heading here, we're going to go to create sketch. And when we do, we are presented with 3 faces. These faces correspond with what's called the view cube. Everything that we are doing, we're doing on this cube on one of the faces that we choose. So this is going to be our front face. This is going to be the right face. This is going to be the top face. I know it's on the bottom and it's confusing, but that's just the way it is. So when I choose this face here, we see that the view cube is now on the front side, and all the work that we're going to be doing is on the front face of this cube here. All right. So let's get started. I want this drawing to be on the front face. We're just going to go from there. So we know we're in the 2D sketch environment because we have our sketch tools here and here under create and modify. This is where we're going to be doing everything. So under the create menu, we also have all of our different tools and all of our different functions. All right. So I'm going to go through some of these. This is our point of origin right here. So this is the center point that things snap to. So if I use the line tool, my cursor is just going to snap right to it. You can use it or you may not. It's up to you. And when we click, we are ending one line and we're starting another. You'll notice that the lines are very rigid and they go in sort of 90-degree angles. If not 90-degree, they don't have curvy lines. Okay. You'll notice also that there's number fields there. So we could set a specified dimension for each, or length for each of the lines and shapes that we draw. So one thing I want to show you is when we're working in lines and we connect it to the line that we started with, it turns blue. This tells us that all the lines are connected and it's now a closed shape. So this is very important to know. So I'm going to undo that, but another way to undo it is up here. This is our undo. Okay, we'll just cancel that. I'm going to undo this line here. And if we wanted to redo things, we could do that as well. So this is undo and redo. Here is going to be our cube. Okay, this also has a number field. So let's just say I want this to be a 3 by 3 square. So this is what we have here. We can see our dimensions here. We can't see everything. So we're going to go to our navigation bar, and I'm going to go to this hand, and it's going to allow us to pan. All right. Here is our zoom. So we can zoom in and we can zoom closer and further away. And one thing that's really important is we want to always be working in inches. So to make sure, we want to go to our browser. We want to go to document settings, and we want to make sure the units are in inches. And if it's not, we go here, and these are the different measurements. So if it's in millimeters, we want to bring it to inches, but we're good to go right here. Okay, so I'm going to undo this, and I'm going to go to my circle tool. Okay, so I'm going to make a circle. You can set the diameter to this. And I'm going to right click. Okay, when I right click, we have different menu options. And I'm going to go to move copy. I'm going to select it. And we should be able to move this around just by doing that. Okay, so that's how we move different shapes. I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to go back to move copy. And when I select it, it gives me an option to create a copy here. So when I check that and I drag one of the arrows, a duplicate is made. All right, so this is how we can duplicate different shapes. All right, later on, I'm going to show you how to mirror shape. So that's how you move and copy different shapes. This is the spline tool. The spline tool is different from the line tool because it allows us to make free-flowing lines however we want. So we can draw more organically. And I'm going to close this up. And once we do, we have different anchor points. Okay, and we could use these anchor points to manipulate the shape and to bring it in and to just make it however we want when we want to draw. So we can drag from the points, or if we click on this, an anchor will come up and we can do it that way too. Okay, so that is the spline tool. Oops, let me redo. Okay, cool. So let's see what else we have here. So we have the arc. The arc, we're going to be using the 3-point arc. That means you set 2 points and then control the arc that way. Okay, so that's one of the tools we're going to be using. Here, Polygon. Okay, so we're just going to click and drag, and it's going to give us this shape. We are able to edit the polygon and create different shapes that way. Let's see what else is under the polygon. So we can do edge, inscribed, and we can manipulate that in different ways, but let's not go into that right now. Points. Points are really important to make. So points are just a point. Okay, but sometimes we need that to set different place marks and different things. We can use that as a point to make our circles from, right, or anything like that, or to use as a drawing tool. Moving on, text. Okay, so we are going to be using text. We're going to drag a box for it to be in. Here is where we control the different size of it, if we want it to be 5 or 2 or 0.5, whatever it is, we're going to change whether it's bold, the type of font, and the size of it here. Okay, so what we're going to be working on, okay, is this right here. So it does have text, and it does have certain things that need to be done. These edges here are done with a certain tool. There's the text tool. These, we're going to create this, and then we're going to mirror it over here, and we're going to mirror this over here. So let's get back to Fusion, and I'm going to show you. So Polygon, Ellipse. So Ellipse is something else we're going to be using. So we're going to set that, and we're going to just set the length of it, and then we can do that. So we're going to use this for the shape of our head here. So this is going to be the ellipse tool. This is going to be the circle tool. This is going to be the spline. This is going to be the polygon. This is going to be the arc. This is going to be the line tool. This is going to be the text tool. And there's a few other things that we're going to be using, like chamfer and fillet and mirror. So let's go back to our Fusion. We're going to undo this. Okay, and this here is going to be our mirror function. It could also be found right here. And to do that, we're first going to need a shape. Okay, so let's just say I'm going to do a rectangle. All right, so we have our shape here. And what we want to do is we want to create a mirror line. So To do that, we're going to go to our sketch palette. We have two different line types. I'm going to show you the first line. If we go to line here, this is our regular line, okay? It's blue, it's solid, and this is this is just a regular line. Something else I forgot to mention is when we're done drawing something, we right click and we hit OK. So let's just say I draw a line, okay? And I'm gonna right click, hit OK, and that's just gonna stop that function. So, but we don't want a regular line, we want a construction line. So we're gonna hit this right here, and we're gonna go to line, and it's selected on our construction line, and I'm just gonna make a line. It doesn't matter really how long. So we're gonna go to our mirror function. We're gonna hit mirror. It's gonna ask for the object to be selected. So we could select any individual line, or we can select the whole thing. Okay. Once we've selected the whole thing, it shows us here that everything is selected. All right. And we're going to select a mirror line. And once we select that, we're going to hit this mirror line, and the same shape appears with the same distance between here and here, here and here. Okay. So this is how we're going to use mirror, and we're going to use this function to create this right here and these two right here. All right, moving on. We're going to go now to our modify, okay? So we have fillet and chamfer. Fillet makes rounded curves. This makes edges, all right? And then this makes offset, and then this trims. So let's just I'm going to show you the trim real quick. We're still on the construction line types. What we want to do is we're going to hit, just hit cancel, let's hit undo. I'm going to go back to my sketch palette. I'm going to click off this because we don't need that. We only need this for the mirror function for right now. So now that I'm off that, I'm going to use, say, a rectangle tool. But let's just say I want to get rid of some of these lines. I would go to the snip tool, and I would just snip off some lines. So this is how you delete and edit some of the functions here. Also, you'll notice that we have these symbols here. We have these are called constraints. And if we click off it in our sketch pad, they're going to disappear. There's some other things here that we can get rid of. Points, we can get rid of those. If we don't want the sketch grid, we can get rid of it. We don't need the dimensions on this, so we can just click off that. There's points where we do need dimensions and points that we don't. For this, it's not that important. So that's how you snip things and modify shapes. Okay, so I'm going to create another rectangle, and I'm going to go to modify, and I'm going to do my fillet. Okay, I'm going to round this at this corner here by selecting two sides. Okay, and we can actually modify it that way, or we can put a specific thing, a specific number in the field. So when we go to here, this is going to be a fillet right here. And let's see if we need it anywhere else. I don't think so. I think it's just going to be here that we use our fillet, and on these edges right here. But you'll notice that on this arm here, we have edges. So I'm going to show you how to make the edges here, here, and here. So let's go back to Fusion. And we're now going to go to our chamfer tool. We're going to do equal distance chamfer. We're going to select two sides, and you see that it makes that edge here. So if we did this one and this one, it would go like that. All right. And if we don't want those dimensions there, we can simply click off it. We can click off the points. We can click off the constraints just to have a clean drawing here. So now we've gone over snip, we've gone over fillet, we've gone over chamfer. Let's try offset. Okay. So we're going to select this whole thing, and then we can create a shape inside of it. Okay, we can hit enter to set that. We can go select that, or we can just go back to the original one. Okay, and that's how we do our offset. So these are all the different tools that we're going to be needing for our first when we get this, okay, the demo doesn't have the text on it. Let's see if I can get rid of this. Okay, you do want to add this with the text tool. Okay, and I've showed you how to make all the rest of it. The demos will show you how to do everything else. And let's just see if there's anything else. I think that's basically everything that we're going to need. So again, this is our sketch palette where we can alter between construction line and regular line. This is where we can click on and off different things like points and constraints and dimensions. This is where we can change the units of our measurements. Okay. This is where our 2D sketch tools are. This is also where our 2D sketch tools are. This is where mirror is. This is where fillet, chamfer, and offset and trim are. This is our data panel where all of our work is going to be saved. This is how we save things. And lastly, I think that's all we're going to need to do. You can finish the sketch when you're done and just save your work. And what I'd like for you to do is to create a screenshot. You can either, you can save the file that you just did to the desktop, or you could do a screenshot. To do a screenshot, you're going to do the snippet tool. Okay, the snippet tool here. And you can just, oops. Okay, so it says Windows logo, Shift and S. Okay, so if I do the Windows logo, Shift and S, it's going to allow me to drag that. And this is a way, this will create a picture file that you could save to the desktop and then upload to your engineer's notebook. All right, so this is everything that you need to know. Remember, when you create a new sketch, it's going to ask you to create a face, choose the front face. And if you want a face here, you can just click it on the view cube. And I believe that's it. So that should be enough to get you started on your assignment in Fusion 360 and all the different parts. And remember, this is how you navigate. All right, so if you have any questions, just ask me in class. And that's all. Thank you very much.